What is this tool I found at an estate sale? Approximately 8.5 inches or 21.25 centimeters long, with no maker's mark. It has a wooden handle with a spring between the two arms to push them open. A friend told me that he saw one of these sold at an auction for £200 as a champagne cork remover. Is this really a cork remover? Thanks in advance. It's an antique Millington & Miller's shade ring pincers, a super useful bit of kit for lighting restoration and cleaning. I use mine all the time. It was patented on March 8, 1906 by Frederick Millington, an electrical engineer, and Albert Hugh Miller, an organ builder of Cambridge, England. Imagine you have a chandelier, and your hands are too big to get into the shade. Then this is where this tool comes in. You're going to need something to help you unscrew them when it's time for cleaning. It's also handy for removing broken glass bulbs from old fittings. My mom got this from my uncle's basement. We have no idea if it's a multiple flower vase or multiple shot glasses. It's a big ring of the vases on the bottom layer, then the middle 6 vases disconnects and gets placed back on. What was it intended for? It's a 1960s propagation station. I actually have this same thing and use it for different plants, like pothos for instance. You fill these vessels with water and plant cuttings. When they grow roots, you transplant them into soil. What is this, some kind of seal I inherited from my mom? I'm in the US, and I suspect this is from China. I suspect she inherited it from her parents, who traveled a lot to China and other Asian countries. It's about 3 inches tall and looks like a seal, as it is embossed on the bottom, like for an ink pad. I am traveling to India, via UK very soon, and was thinking of bringing it as a gift for a friend, but I am now wondering if it is ivory, and whether it could potentially get me in trouble with border customs. I suspect this is at least 50 years old, likely 60 to 70. Thanks for whatever information anyone can provide. It's a 19th century carved ivory tie seal, in the form of a stupa. It was used for marking documents, letters, or personal belongings with an emblem, name, or symbol. These were often served as an early form of signature, especially among nobles, merchants, and officials. What exactly are these pliers? Excuse the mess, I'm in the middle of moving. I got these pliers from my late granddad, so unfortunately, I never could ask him, and the almighty Google comes up with a dozen different names. Any info on make or age would be appreciated. Those are 1950s Bluebird battery terminal pliers. The pliers end is for battery terminal bolts, and the bottom end is a battery terminal cleaner. I hate it. It takes off way too much lead. The brush-type battery terminal cleaners do much less damage. What is this thing I found on a Korean War battlefield while metal detecting? It's pretty old and rusted. I can't find any markings, and it seems like it has a spring inside. I've hit my end of research capabilities, so please help me figure out what this is. It's an M201 fuse from a World War II to Korean War era M18 smoke grenade, a small metal and plastic ignition assembly that screws into the top of the grenade body. Its job is simply to ignite the grenade's internal smoke mix after the user releases the spoon. The M18 plays a crucial role in the US Army, serving as a versatile tool for signaling, marking, and obscuring during missions. It's used to mark landing zones, identify positions, and signal troops in the heat of battle. What is this 27-gram rusted metal cylinder with an angled tip, found in the dirt at my neighborhood park in New Orleans? Around 2.5 inches tall, and I suspect it might be some kind of automotive part since folks work on their cars nearby. We'd all love to know what it is. Any ideas are appreciated. It's a 1950s Revlon non-smear type lipstick tube. This was part of the lipstick wars in mid-century America. brands competed heavily on long wear and smudge resistance. The non-smear or indelible lipstick trend took off in the early 1950s. Hazel Bishop introduced a long-lasting stay-on formula first, which became very popular. Revlon responded by launching its own version. Initially, they released an indelible creme lipstick in 1951. However, in 1953, the US Federal Trade Commission intervened. Cosmetic companies were required to use the word type if they claimed indelible, smear-proof, or non-smear in their marketing. So Revlon rebranded to non-smear type. Despite the promise of longevity and no smearing, Revlon's non-smear lanolite didn't sell as strongly as they'd hoped. In fact, according to cosmetic industry histories, Revlon ended up dumping many of the lanolite lipsticks from inventory because demand was lower than expected. But while not as commercially successful as Revlon hoped, it remains a notable piece of cosmetics history and a collectible today. What is this cabinet with lots of tiny drawers, stackable and extremely heavy? This was my grandpa's. He was a dentist, and later in life got heavily into lapidary. He used this to store rock slabs, but I don't think that was the original purpose. Around 6 to 8 inches wide, 18 inches tall, and about the same deep. It weighs around 30 pounds and is solid metal. The drawers slide all the way out and can hinge downward before they are actually out of the case. Based on the labels on the front of the drawers, my guess is microfilms or some other small flat file. What is it? It is called a visible records filing cabinet. From the 1940s, missing a piece for each drawer that holds index cards that fold flat when the drawer is in. But you open the drawer and flip them up to see the records you are keeping. They are often referred to as a Cardex, after the most prominent company that makes them. I found this back behind our wood stove. It is thin, but it seems like cast iron. It looks like something to possibly hold the ash shovel, but I can't figure out where it would go. What is it for? That's part of a 1950s Crescent cast iron salesman sample cook stove. Someone must have had the miniature stove on the real one and lost a part. Door-to-door appliance salesmen used miniature stoves to show customers design features, construction quality, oven door mechanisms, and burner layout. And many of these cast iron stove samples doubled as children's play stoves, especially around Christmas. What is this vintage and strange metal shovel found in southern Massachusetts woods? I have no idea how long it had been there or who left it. It is stamped Mora made in Sweden at the back, and I'm thinking possibly a coal or grain scoop. It's honestly the strangest shovel I've ever seen. I'd love any insights on what type it might be or how old it could be. Please let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.